Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I doing now? I am actually setting up a kind of like a mobile mechanics toolbox almost, but just for electrical. Just for stuff that I would have to do electrically to get something fixed on the road, get it back on the road, stuff like that. Not like permanent repair type stuff, but at least it'll be a good repair to get you where you gotta go. Reason I'm doing this is because I have a vehicle at the shop that I gotta go down and fix. And I had made a video on it probably about a year ago, and it's a Dodge Dakota that kept on blowing the PCM fuse. And then all of a sudden it wasn't blowing the PCM fuse, and then it was blowing the PCM fuse. So what I wound up doing was I followed the harness, and I realized the harness split in 3 out of the fuse block. And what I did was on each one of those legs, I put a 5-amp fuse, and the car ran for over a year. So what changed? But the car just got towed in. I went there and I took a brief look at it, and one wire, the one to the PCM, is short at the ground. I unhooked the PCM, it's not that, it's something else. So I gotta go down there on Sunday and see if I can't figure out what's going on. There's gotta be a short in the harness somewhere. So from where I put the fuse to the vehicle, or to the PCM, there's a short. So, like I said, I'm making up this kit, so this way I can get stuff fixed and back on the road. And like I said, it's kind of a temporary kit, but it's what I got. And let me just show you. So here it is. It's just a carry-all case, like a worker's case. So in here I have just different type of tapes, different type of wires. I actually have battery terminals because I had those. More wire, different types of wire strippers. I hate these wire strippers. However, in some scenarios, these come in handy. I got wire crimpers. I got these because I had them. I'm not a huge fan of these because if you do it wrong, you can actually mess up and you can get corrosion in the harness. So these are just like a temporary. I have the solderless butt connectors I'm going to put in place. I got to find them and put them in this kit. And then I have heat shrink, and that's the heat shrink with the glue in it. So I'm going to be bringing that with me. I got to find my solderless butt connectors. I have them somewhere around here. Just got to find them. But yeah. And then there's that. So get ready. It's coming. It's coming. So just the other day, I spoke to you about oil shortages. And a number of you got into the comment section and you got all political. And that's fine, just keep it civil. I mean, I don't express any political views at all. I'm completely neutral on that when it comes to being on here. I'm neutral on everything. So I just try to keep it that way. I'll just tell you what I find out. You do with it what you want. That's all. So here is another one. Nissan and Toyota have released statements saying the same thing. I believe Ford has too. My son-in-law manages the Ford dealers quick lube section at one of the dealers here in Durham. And I'm going to be seeing him on Saturday. So I'm going to talk to him about what he's seeing. I spoke to Robert today, and Robert said that where we get our bulk oil from, which is actually Mighty Company. Obviously, they're just a rebrander of sorts, but they put their name on oil and stuff like that. They are out of 020. They are out of 020. So that's becoming a problem getting 020 right now. So here also, this is a bulletin from Nissan. What I'll do is I'll put links in the description to the bulletin so you can read them yourself, or you can just Google it. You can find it. It's all out there. This one is dated from May 1st, so it's almost a month old. So this has been out for a little bit of time now. And basically it says the same thing as what the memo from AutoZone said. Basically about inventory and about packaging being unavailable and stuff like that. And basically they're talking about what's changing with Nissan oil. Why is it happening? And its global supply conditions are impacting raw materials, refining capacity, availability of key lubricant components, and these factors are affecting the entire industry. Our price is increasing. That's right here. Our price is increasing. Yes, a supplier-driven price adjustment is expected. Details will be shared once finalized. That's never going to be finalized, though. That's going to keep going up as long as as long as demand stays high and supply stays low, prices are going to continue to rise. So all I'm getting at with what I'm telling you is if you do your own service, you do your own maintenance, you may want to stock up on oil. I'm not trying to fear-monger anybody into like going and buying all the toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like none of that stuff, none of that nonsense. We got through that without an issue. We got through gas shortages and stuff. You know, we'll get through this. It's not a problem. But just be mindful, if you may want to get yourself enough stuff to have an extra oil change for your car. That's all, if you do it yourself. Even if you bring it to a shop, you may want to go to the store and pick up what you need to do your own oil change, even if you bring it to a shop, and then you can bring them the product, just in case you go there and they don't have it. You know, and you can't blame the shop. Yeah, that's a great point. Because I could see it now where people are going to start blaming the shops, saying, you know, oh, you don't keep the right product in stock for my car. You ruined my vehicle. You know, anything and everything. You know, customers will do that. So having the right stuff for your vehicle, you're protecting yourself. That's all. That's all I'm getting at. But yeah, so I just wanted to keep you informed. I just wanted to get that out there. I don't want to make a long, drawn-out process out of this. So I just wanted to share with you what I know. So like I said, Robert said he's having a problem getting some oil now. So it's coming, it's happening. I just want you to be prepared. That's all. Want a quick funny story? I'll give you a quick funny story. Something reminded me of this as I was scrolling through Facebook, doom scrolling. And somebody asked, what's a memory you have from childhood that you believed was true, basically like something your parents told you that you thought was true and later found out it wasn't true. You know, Santa Claus, stuff like that, Tooth Fairy, whatnot. This is a true story. And if people wonder where I get my sense of humor from, it was from my dad. My mom's no better, trust me. She's a piece of work. Anyway, I was about 5 years old. We were walking through Mount Kisco, New York, in the main street in Mount Kisco, New York. There was a Baskin Robbins there. So we would go there. We would travel from White Plains up to there, like take a little car ride and stuff like that. And we would go up there and we'd get ice cream at the Baskin Robbins. So I remember my dad had to park across the street. So we went and got ice cream, and I will never forget this. It just stuck in my head. Like, I had actually forgotten about it for many years, and then it came back. But as we were walking back to the car, we go to walk across Main Street. Now, remember, this is in the probably 1973, 74, something like that. And so we're walking and we're getting ready to cross the road, and there's a sign that shows, you know, the silhouette of a person, or a black block of a person crossing in a crosswalk. And below it is a rectangular sign that says PEDXING, PEDXING. I look at my dad and I said, what does that mean? So my dad says, what? And he says, so I said, PEDXING, what does that mean? So my dad, without skipping a beat, says, the guy that invented that sign was Chinese, and his name was PEDXING. So they're just giving him credit for making that sign. I'm like, oh, okay. So of course, I believe it, and I go about my day. For many years, I believed it. Eventually, it just faded from my memory. When my son was about 4, and my daughter was about 6, my son asked me the same question. He said, Dad, what does that mean, that PEDXING? And, you know, of course, I'm starting to grin a little bit. And my daughter, without skipping a beat, and now she's 6 years old, she says, that means pedestrian crossing, stupid. And I'm like, man, I tell you what, my dad must have chuckled his butt off knowing that he got that one over on me, and I believed him. But I thought I'd share that with you. I thought that was a great, funny story, just to kind of break the mood a little bit. So anyway, personal stuff about me. I thought I'd share that with you. Thought you'd get a kick out of it. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. If you look down in the description below, you'll see links to Amazon products. You will help me out big time if you click on it and buy something. I mean, I'm not asking you to, but if you do, it helps keep the channel alive. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys have a great day and keep wrenching. Oh, and if my face looks swollen on this side, I had my upper wisdom tooth pulled out this morning. So doing pretty good with it, but just in case you see it. All right, guys, take care. Keep wrenching.